Welcome to Your Next Best Step with Breck Cochran, the locker room for purpose-driven leaders. This is where we slow down, reflect, and take our next best steps through real stories, practical strategies, and rooted leadership wisdom. Remember, the best leaders need a coach in their corner.
Hey, welcome to Your Next Best Step podcast, the Leaders Locker Room, where we slow down, get real, rooted, so we can lead ourselves and others better. Today, I've got a guest who embodies what it means to show up, I think, with purpose, and she's in lots of lanes. And so when you say to this young lady, hey, stay in your lane, she'd just go, which lane you talking about?
Which lane are you even talking about?
SalleyNycole Crews, an 8-time award-winning entrepreneur. How do you say, because I'm, an esthetician, how do you say that correctly?
Esthetician.
Esthetician, all right. Influencer, chef, coach, wife, mom, building her business, SalleyNycole Skin and Beauty Boutique, right here in the Below. Mm-hmm. So shout out to all the Below lovers. But beyond the brand and the buzz, and Sally is an influence. She's amazing, and we've known each other for quite a while now. We'll get into some of that. But you're also passionate about mentoring, coaching. At one time, you were coaching young women. Now you're doing more coaching adult men and women. So I can't wait to kind of catch up and see all the spaces and lanes you're in. And I know there's some that I don't even know about, which I'm sure there's a lot. But welcome to the locker room, Sally. Glad to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here today. I appreciate you, BC, for allowing me to come on your show today. I'm excited.
Yeah. We've got a little bit of history. We've known each other for, I think, a decade,
since at least 2012.
2012, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, is that what it? Okay, so
2012.
Sally is married to another dear friend of mine, Jamil Crews, who I'm hoping to have on the podcast as well. But I thought I'd start with the better half, right?
Better half. Yes, the better half.
That's right. And he better agree with that or he's in trouble. So
he would agree. He would agree.
Absolutely. Sally, you and Jamil, at one point we crossed paths. We went to the same church together.
Yes. Right? You were our pastor.
Yeah. And it was an honor. And
oh man, those were, when they say the good old days, those were the good old days.
We had some fun, didn't we?
We did.
We put fun back into church.
We put fun back into church for sure. And that place was very instrumental in me recovering from my mental health situation. So I am forever grateful to you as a pastor and to Renovation and the family and everything that we had during that time. It was exactly what I needed at that time in my life.
Wow. Well, it was quite a community, and we've been, and I, when did you give us a little bit of history? So, and also I should say, Sally is the mom of the coolest young cat in all of Buffalo. Young Prince, soon one day King, Sire. And how old is Sire now?
He's 3 now.
3.
I can't. That is when they say people say broke bestie, that is my little rich bestie.
Oh man.
He actually has more money than me saved up.
Oh yeah. You guys, he's got no chance between the two of you not to have the most swag, like street level, like confidence and, and then all of the rest that comes along with being a part of your family and just
Yes.
yeah. So it's cool
Mhm.
to see him.
Yeah.
Sally, give us a little bit of history. Like, when did you become? When did you step into working for
Okay.
somebody
Okay.
and kind of tell like what you were doing? And then when you decided to step into being an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, like, hey, stepping out, give us a little history on that. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, so I went to Canisius for business management. So I always wanted to be a business owner. And when I was in high school, I used to do hair for my friends and family. And I really wanted to be a hairstylist, but that sent my grandfather into almost cardiac arrest when he found out that I wanted to go straight to hair school. And my parents were just not going for it. So they said, well, why don't you go to school for business? At the time, I just wasn't too keen on leaving Buffalo and leaving my family. So I went into Canisius. I chose them simply because they had tunnels and I didn't have to walk outside in the winter. That
A
was
little
kind of
known
like,
fact, unless you people driving by doesn't know that unless you've been on those campuses.
unless you go to campus, you can connect on the major campus. Is all connected underneath
Yeah.
the tunnel. So that was my deciding factor. I said, you know what? I love Canisius. It's a great place. They have tunnels. I'm going here for business, and then maybe I'll open my own business one day. So in the midst of doing that, I started volunteering in teaching health education and pregnancy and STI prevention to youth at Planned Parenthood. And I love that. That was my first opportunity working with young girls. I wasn't that much older than them. I wasn't a teenager that much further from them at that point because I was like 19, they were 15, 16. So I just got out of my teen years and I was able to kind of reach back and talk to them about just having safe behaviors. So I really, really enjoyed that. And it kind of carried me along to my job after I got out of college and I worked as a community health worker. I was a case manager and I also did the same thing, STI, STD, and pregnancy prevention. And I also worked with pregnant and parenting teens in Buffalo. And when I tell you that was my dream job, I absolutely loved what I do. I would do
Mm.
that to this day if I could. I loved working with youth. I loved helping them. I loved just being a part of their lives and getting to know them and their families and really just kind of helping them kind of navigate the system to get the resources and things they needed to support themselves or support their children at the time because I worked with teen parents. And when I was doing that, I also was still doing education. I always wanted to be a community health educator, but there was just no opportunities for me until I found an opportunity and I loved it. Now, at this point, I said, oh, this is really my dream job. I was
Mm.
teaching girls how to cook. You mentioned me being a chef. I love to
Yeah.
cook. I was teaching girls how to cook. I was teaching them life skills and I loved it. But unfortunately for me, I was I got along with the management, but I just felt like I was being micromanaged a little too much for my liking. So in the midst of that, I was attending the Salon Professional Academy, just receiving services there, facial services. I loved it so much. And I said, you know what, this seems pretty cool. And I asked the girls there, I said, you guys really get paid to do these type of services? Like you can really make this a real career. This is like a real thing. And they were like, yeah, it is. This is absolutely a real career. You can support yourself and support a family off of it if you know if you're good at what you do and you build your clientele. And I said, you know what, this would be something cool to do like after work because again, I was only making $26,000 at the time back in 2009. So I was like, you know what? I can do something to kind of help supplement my income a little bit. I was coming home after work, just kind of watching TV, not really doing much.
Yeah.
So I said, you know, let me look into this school thing. So at the time, Jamil and I were engaged. I asked him if he thought it was a cool idea because when I went and talked to the counselor, she said, I talked to her in January, at the end of January 2010. She said, we have a class starting in aesthetics in a week. And we also have a class starting 11 months from now. And at the time, I was very impatient. So I said, I'm going to start right now.
Yes. That doesn't surprise me.
Yes. I was extremely impatient. I said, I'm going to start next week. So I quit my job. I was only at my job for 6 months. So that was I've never really like ever quit something that soon. So that was a big shock to everybody that worked there, that I was so good at this job and I really seemed to enjoy it. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to quit and just go to school. And that's what I did. I quit and I went to school part-time. Now, thinking back, I really didn't need to quit that job because I did the evening program, so I could have just worked and then just went to school. But I always kept about 2 or 3 jobs under my belt. So I had a different job where I was doing some case management on the side. So I was using that to kind of supplement, my income. So I enrolled in a aesthetic school in 2010, about 15 years ago now. And I started I really loved it. I absolutely loved everything about it. It was a career that allowed me to just be me. And I didn't have to dim my personality and, just kind of, I could just be as fun and playful as I want to be in the field. It's definitely a field where if you have a really nice personality, you will definitely go far. So it just worked for me. I had the bubbly personality. I love working with people. I love making new friends. I love meeting new people. I'm a natural people pleaser, so I love being able to do the service for people and they're happy with it. So I found my lane. And once I found my lane, I said, all right, I have to do this full time. And of course, being impatient again, I was like, all right, I'm going to open up a place I ended up opening up a small space inside of a friend's hair salon, but that didn't work out too well. So I went back home and I was there for about 3 years. And Jamil would give me 24 hours to take everything down. Like he would let me set all of my stuff up, but I would have to break it all down in 24 hours because he didn't want it to be overwhelming with all of my stuff.
Right.
So that was always.
So it was
crazy.
A portable business.
It was definitely a portable business at the time. So after about 3 years of being home, I had an opportunity moving to a friend's hair salon, and I took Jamil with me. And the first thing he asked her was, when can she start? He was ready. He was ready for me to get out of the house with all of my stuff.
Yeah.
We were having people over all times of the day. People at night were coming. He would come home from work. People would be waiting in the living room. Like he just was over it so bad.
Yes.
He was over me trying to build that business. So when I moved into that hair salon in 2014, it was like the floodgates open. I was able to promote as much as I want to. I was able to actually put my address out there. I was able to put my flyers out there. Social media was nothing like it is now.
Right.
Not in comparison to like back then. It was just a couple of posts and a couple of flyers. You didn't even have to do. We didn't even have anything like this. Not really. Yeah. So I ended up working there for a year, and then I was able to move into my business full time after 1 year of opening up inside of a hair salon. So 5 years after aesthetic school, I was able to move into the business full time, and I've been doing it full time ever since.
That's awesome. Was there, looking back, when you were trying to decide, do I stay here or do I take a chance on me?
Yeah.
This podcast is helping leaders take their next best step.
Yes.
And sometimes the hardest step to take is the mind shift of working for somebody versus working for yourself.
Yes.
And taking the chance on you. Do you remember that and kind of what allowed you to just go ahead and bet on yourself and let's do this?
Yeah. So back in this, for me, this was in 2015. So 10 years ago. At the time, So after aesthetic school, I ended up working back as a community health educator because that's literally my passion. Like if I ever retire from aesthetics, I'll probably be a community health educator.
Yeah.
So I went back into the world of community health education and did that while I was trying to build my business. And fortunately for me, I had a supervisor who was actually my old coworker. She stayed at the agency while I was kind of milling around different things. She stayed at the agency and she then became the supervisor. And she and I had always remained friends. And we talk every day. We've remained friends to this day. So she hired me back. Now my old coworker was my supervisor. And it just, God bless me because she was so supportive of my business. But the reason why was because I was a top tier employee to her.
Yeah.
You know, whatever she needed, I did. Whatever deadline, I made sure I did it before the deadline. Whatever I needed to do, if I needed to come in early, I came in early. I made sure my boss was all set when it came to my work and what I had to do. She never had to come look for me for anything. I was looking for her. So I think that was the key was I didn't let my dream of wanting to work for myself stop me from being a good employee. Because I know if I'm a bad employee, I'll be a bad business owner.
Oh, come on.
You know?
Right.
Because as a business owner, I am the worst boss I've ever had. Because I have to hold myself accountable when I don't feel like it.
Sally.
So,
right? That is like so much of, I think, leadership is owning our own selves, leading ourselves. Like leading is hard, and the hardest person to lead is ourselves.
It is.
Always
it's so
will
hard.
be.
It's so hard. And you have to have patience when it comes to wanting to leave your job.
Yeah.
And for me, I had to develop the patience and I had to make sure I was working all the time I was at work. And then when I got off work, I was working on my business. So those are the things. Like when you're trying to build a business on the side and you want to make it your full-time thing, you have to spend your downtime working on it. I really didn't go out. I really didn't hang out with my friends. I really didn't see my family a lot. I was really focused on let me lock in this year because I know the next year I want to be full-time.
Yes.
I also read books on it too. There's one book called Quitter by John Acuff, Acuff. I love that book.
Great book.
You read it? Oh, it's so good. So, it's closing the gap between your day job and your dream job. And I love that book because it really helped to set me up to be able to quit properly and to save up money and to make sure I had my clientele and to make sure I had Jamil's support. We were married at this time, making sure I had his support and just making sure I could really sustain my business by itself and be able to supply for my income as well. So it's tough, but you have to make sure that you're using your day job to help fund your dream job too.
That's so
not
good.
Financially, but also like mentally too.
Yeah. That's so good, Sally. I know that let's talk a little bit about like you're an owner operator, influencer, like all of these things. You live pretty fast in a lot of different lanes.
I know somehow.
How do you hold that right without losing your center, without losing Sally?
For me, I practice self-care. I'm in the business of self-care. So with me being in the business of self-care, I have to make sure that I implement my own self-care. Like, for example, tomorrow once a month, I take either a half a day or a full day off. I get my own facial. I get my own massage. I take a nap. Like, I take myself to lunch. I do things that make me feel whole. I journal at night, try to release my emotions, certain things that's going on. I go to the gym. I'm also a swimmer. I'm a hiker. So there's a lot of things that I do that I love. So like I have a lot of interests, and fortunately for me, I'm able to kind of tap in to those different interests as I need throughout the month.
Yeah.
And that's what's important to me is to just, because people will say they have interest in something and then they just don't act on it. But me, I'll be like, oh, I love swimming. Let me join a swim team. And then like I will join a swim team. So, like
I know I've followed you on social media through your swimming journey, and it's been crazy from that first like journal entry to now you're on a swimming team, and I'm like, what, Sally, you're crazy. I love it.
I remember because we used to talk about me swimming years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. So exactly. So I just find in the one thing that helps me too is I'm a crazy planner scheduler person. Like,
okay, that's what I was going to ask. Are you just winging this, or are you planning this?
Oh no, nothing about my life can really be winged. So like I can kind of wing a little bit, just so I can have a little spontaneity, but I can't wing everything. I have to know what I'm doing. I plan out my week. I plan out my day. I live by my iPhone calendar.
Let's walk through that. When do you plan out your week? Is that a Sunday?
Usually like
Saturday,
on a Sunday.
Monday?
Yeah. So it's like, so I plan everything out like Sunday, Monday-ish. So I try to Sunday, but Monday is my day off. So that's the day where I'm kind of doing content. I'm catching up on whatever I didn't get a chance to do the previous week. I'm focusing on what's going on the next week. But planning is like a daily thing to me. So like whenever something enters my schedule, I put it in my schedule. And then by the end of the week, I'm looking through my schedule to see what I have coming up. But I know like Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 are my gym days. And then Thursday and Saturday at 7 are my swim days. And I just try to like protect that time to make sure that's what I do. And it's just important to me. So it's not perfect. I don't have this perfect schedule, of course, but these are like some intentions that I have. And I'm able to, and that's the beauty of it, is because I'm an entrepreneur, I am able to schedule things into my schedule on my own time. So I don't take that for granted. I don't take that very lightly. I just know that we have 24 hours in a day. I'm using 8 of those to sleep. And then the rest of that time, I'm kind of scheduling things in. But I don't really like overpack my schedule either. Yeah. I know when to take time off. I know when to, but I just don't spend a lot of time wasting time either. Like, I don't really watch a lot of TV, and I don't really, kind of sit around for the most part. Like sometimes on a weekend I will, but it's not I'm working. Like if I'm sitting on the couch, I'm probably creating content. I'm probably editing some videos. I'm probably putting together some plan for a coaching client. So that's what I do. I'm planning daily in a sense, and I'm like kind of planning weekly. So it just pretty much never stops, but I fill in the gaps and I'll see like what I can do in that particular time. So like, it's like, oh, I haven't been hiking in a while. Let me make sure I schedule a hike. So I'll schedule things out for myself too. Right. Like, okay, time to see my family. All right, we have something. Let me try to put something on the schedule and just kind of schedule things out for myself.
I think we just happened to miss each other in Colorado. You were just out there. Yes, Gloria and I got a chance. We were out there. Both Caleb and Cannon, a little inside conversation for our listeners. So we went to Red Rocks.
Nice.
And, for a concert that both Caleb was working at and Cannon was working at. And then Gloria had never been out to Colorado, so she spent the whole week. We spent the whole week out there. Went to Colorado Springs, went to Garden of the Gods, went to Estes Park, went to Pikes
Peak. Wow.
Yeah, and so I think you were there like the very next weekend. I think we might have flown home on a Saturday, and I think I started seeing your post like on Sunday, Monday, or something.
Yep.
Went to Boulder, all that. So it was so cool.
Isn't Colorado just gorgeous?
It's amazing.
Like to be able.
It is such a soul care state. to
It
like,
is. It is.
yeah,
It really to walk out and see the mountains, like it's just nothing. Like I'm driving around in Buffalo now. Like, why don't we have mountains? Why don't we need mountains here. Like somebody build a mountain. I want to see a mountain. It was just
yes.
in the food there. Wasn't the food good?
Oh yeah,
And you're a big
it was
foodie.
all good. Like,
Yeah. And you're a big foodie like me. So I know
I know it. So Sally, so a couple of things. Now, you've mentioned a couple of times that you're working on
yes.
content. And I know just following you that you've kind of stepped into this content influencer, social media. Uh, like what are the roles that you're doing? What kind of motivated you to step into that and to actually, step into that kind of lane?
So it's so funny because I absolutely hated doing content.
Mm,
I just, it was just not my thing. I did
yeah,
it because I had to. I'm
right.
like, I have a business. I want
Yeah.
clientele. I want to be well known in the city for what I do. Let me just do it. And then eventually I was like, I actually like this. Like, it's not so bad. I'm getting traction. People are starting to ask me to help them. People are telling they like my content. I'm getting opportunities. I was recently asked to speak next year in San Diego at a sugaring and waxing conference on social media. So I'm excited about that. Even the conference planner, I'm helping her with her social media. So
Mm,
like it's just it somehow it just started trickling down where the more consistent I became with it, the more people started recognizing and the more they were asking me questions and wanting me to help them. And
mm,
because I'm just a natural, like I said, if I was anything else, I would be a community health educator. But we could take community health out and replace it with anything else. I just love to educate people.
wow.
And I love education. So we can take community health out and put content in front of it. We can put business in front of it. We can put marketing in front of it. We could put planning in front of it. I just love to help people get to their goals and for them to have confidence. Like I just want people to have like that content confidence because a lot of people struggle with confidence when it comes to content creation. They don't want to feel cringe. Like we're all cringe. Like some of the things I do, I'm cringe, but like you just have to put it out there because you never know who it's going to inspire. You never know. Whatever I post, I always get somebody who's either inspired or they'll book or something when it comes to what I do. So I
Mm,
just find that it's so good for me to just continue to do the work to inspire other people to do it.
yeah.
And another incentive for me was I started getting paid to do content creation.
Okay.
So once I started receiving these checks from Facebook, I was like, oh, so this is something here. So
So
it just,
I know a guy, he started he started a coaching business and he was a pastor and stepped into coaching and when it and he, I just know he's told me that the cringe of doing social media content is like at a 12 out of 10.
oh,
What would you say to that guy, my friend, that needs
to your
help in
friend,
overcoming that?
I would say to your friend, and I think I know who your friend is first of all, he has such an awesome personality, number one. So that's what the world wants to see. The world wants to see your personality. The world wants to see who you are. The world wants a tour of the locker room. What is that over there?
Yeah.
When did you get that? The world wants to just know what you have to share and what you have to offer. And this guy used to be speaking live in front of hundreds of people.
I
It's
know.
so
It's a
different.
crazy, it's very different on this side. And,
It is.
sometimes the coach, I always say everybody needs a coach. Even coaches need
For
coaches, right?
sure. Yep.
And,
I
and
even have a
so
coach.
I have several, David Shands.
Yes. Incredible.
I've been talking about doing this podcast for years, and I'm like, I gotta execute on this thing. And I
That's
saw
the key word, execute.
and Jamil, I knew, had brought David Shands in because I'm like, I think I've heard of that name, right? And so I jumped on a 5-day, my 7-figure podcast little workshop, and that was kind of the catalyst that says, okay, I've got to kind of do that. So we like coaching is such a huge thing. I can't ask people to invest in my coaching if I'm not willing to invest for coaching myself, right?
Absolutely.
But when it comes to this whole the social media, the LinkedIn, the Instagram, Facebook,
TikTok.
And I might be, calling you and saying, Sally, I need some coaching and
for sure,
delivering all this content. But what would be, for those that when part of what coaching does is we're helping clients solve a problem.
Absolutely.
And for what would be the problem, the most common problem for you that you're helping clients who are trying to develop content? What would one or two of those problems kind of most common seem to be that you're helping them solve?
So for the first thing I'm helping them solve is clarity, because a lot of times people have multiple interests or multiple businesses and they just don't know where to start. So I'm going to help clarify I'm going to help you clarify your goals and what you want for your content. And then the second part is I'm going to help you with ideas. So a lot of times people don't know what to post. They don't have an idea. They don't realize, and this is what I learned from my coach, Monday isn't really a day to try to get people to buy anything from you. Monday is really a day to motivate people. It's the beginning of the week. We just woke up. We're tired. We got to start a new week. Motivate me. I don't want to buy anything from you. I'm ready to buy from you probably on Friday when I get paid. So maybe Friday, pitch your whatever you got for me to buy.
Okay.
On Wednesday, I'm ready to laugh. You done motivated me Monday. Tuesday, you done came in with some little educational stuff. Wednesday, I'm about ready to laugh. Hit me with something funny. Hit me with something funny in regards to your industry, whatever that may be. And Thursday would be authority. So like, what makes you the authority in this industry? What makes you the leadership authority? So tell me what makes you the leadership authority on a Thursday, because I'm kind of ready to buy whatever you're selling by Friday. So that's what my content coach taught me, was just how to kind of frame how to give people an opportunity to kind of frame their content out so they know what to post. So but each week you just are kind of plugging and playing, like, okay, what's my motivational post this week? What's my educational post? What's my funny post? What's my authority post? What's my sales pitch? What are some lifestyle stuff I can do? Do I have a weekly reset? Am I going to sit here and kind of dust everything off in my locker room? Like, what are some things I'm doing on Sunday that I can share that's a little bit more personal with my audience? Because the reality... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love that because they're actually themes. We have a mutual friend, Joshua Dean. He's now in the mortgage loan. I've had him on the podcast.
Nice.
So he is a mortgage loan officer he's one of the top 1% loan officers in the whole country now. I know that's
wow. Go ahead, Josh. That's
right?
Great.
And so he asked me to do some coaching with him about this time last year. And so as I don't know anything about, the mortgage loan business, but my role as a coach, like when I'm coaching leaders, whether it's higher ed, whether it's a restaurant owner, whatever that is, I'm more on the being side than the doing side. The being meaning the rooted, grounded self-awareness, like, hey, what are your values? Like, Are you
Yes.
paying attention to you, or is everything about the doing, right? And so I'm like, okay. And so as I started to learn and we did this work, he started sharing with me about the doing side of the things. And in the mortgage loan, and I think in real estate, they have theme days. Monday
Mhm.
is client, like, hey, all your referrals on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So every
A
day
theme
there's a
day.
theme day. And what you just explained, which I love in social media, is to develop a theme day. Like, I love
Yes.
that.
And your themes are going to be based on your content pillars. So what I tell my clients is I help them develop 5 to 8 content pillars. So content pillars, for example, are like areas of like your expertise for your client or for your social media.
Yeah.
Okay. So some of my content pillars, there's like motherhood, lifestyle, fitness. So like these
Okay.
are the type of posts that you'll see on my page. My
Mm.
business would be like showing client services, funny funny spa content is what I post. Um, any type of authority or like educational content, behind the scenes content. So my pillars are just themes that I'll be posting, and you can
Ah,
kind of line them up during the days of the week. So you know, Monday is this what I post on Monday. So I break content down for people, for my clients to be able to do it much easier instead of sitting there like, oh, I don't know what to post.
right.
Okay, let's come up with some themes. All right, you're a mental health worker. So these are let's work on your themes. Okay, so you are a leadership coach. All right, so we're going to talk about some of the themes you have. You should talk about some clientele that maybe some clients that you've helped coach, some of your past leadership, things you learned through leadership in the past, your leadership roles that you have taken. What was it like being a leader of a church for 15 years? You know, all of that stuff is still very much relevant experience that you can talk about. So that's what I help my clients do. I help them think of their content pillars, and then we're going to go ahead and break them down into different ideas that they can kind of come up with, and I'll help them come up. I give them 60 something plus ideas because I'll get to know everything about their business. And I help between myself and my trusty old chat GPT, we're
Yeah.
going to put together a nice little plan
Right.
for them that they can easily use with some really good content ideas.
Ah, Sally, that was the worth of admission right there. Thank you. Also, I know that you said that you're doing more coaching,
Yes.
men and women. What kind of coaching is that you're helping them with?
So I'm focusing on now. So in 2020, during the pandemic, I ended up becoming a certified life and business coach with Certified Coaches Federation based out of Canada. And I was doing business coaching, I was doing life coaching, I was doing all kinds of coaching secretively throughout the years.
Mm,
And I was still trying to figure out like what in particular do I really want to coach on. I've even got into budget coaching because like I said, I love education, and because I've tried to excel in so many areas of my life, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. So I've done so much
mm.
that I've been able to kind of help other people. Like I've helped a couple of my friends get their budgets together, and my one friend just bought a house. So like, you know, there's little things I do on the side that people don't even really know about. And I was trying to figure out, but now I realize I love business coaching. So whatever the person needs for their business, because I was even doing a class on business systems, and I created like a 70-page Bible of business structure and strategy and business forms and everything for them. And but I've settled on like content creation because I realized that's where I love it's something that I do consistently, and it's something I love to talk about, and it's the easiest thing for me to talk about, and it's one of the easiest things for me to keep up with. So like I get these emails of this week in social media. I used to hate those emails because I'm like, I don't care about what's going on in social media. But now I'm like, did I miss the this week in social? Like, what's the newest thing going on? Like, trying to keep up with it. So that's what I coach on. I coach people on like their content confidence, helping them come up with their content pillars, helping them come up with content ideas, and just for them to be more consistent with their content, to help them with their business or to help them monetize their brands.
That's great. Sally, it's so good to have you on here. I always do kind of a wrap up with a couple of questions.
Yeah.
What is something that you would maybe in the past you would have framed as a failure, but now looking back, it was actually a win? Like even as painful or whatever that is, it's like, God is amazing. He can take what seemed to be broken and unfixable and then turn it around and fix it, and it ends up being something beautiful or extraordinary or something that we can actually learn that benefits us today. And it's amazing how he could do that. For leaders, I feel more than ever that leaders who lead with vulnerability are the leaders that people want to follow.
For sure. For sure.
Not because they have to, but because they want to.
Yes, absolutely. For me, it would be in 2017 when I went to open up the location that I'm in now, the previous location. I'm in a new location, but the previous location. Unbeknownst to me, I was having a mental breakdown due to stress. So that was a situation where it was just so bad. But the beauty that came out of it was, I actually went into a depression for about 22 months. And I started going to counseling. And they just helped me to see that I had some flaws in my personality in the way that I did things. And my counselors helped me to just kind of reorganize my life, kind of stop micromanaging myself. Like, it seems as though I'm probably still a micromanager of myself, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. So that was like a beauty for ashes moment for me, was like going through such a very hard time mentally and being depressed and just and just having like this chemical imbalance and not really knowing what my next steps were, but continuing to show up for my business because it was open and I had bills to pay that were business bills, and I had personal bills to pay, and I had clients that were counting on me to show up. So sometimes the hardest thing to do is to show up, but that's what I decided to continue to do every single day for my business, was show up. So to the point where it made me so strong that anything that I face going forward has never reached that level of sadness for me. So it's really one of those things where you never know where entrepreneurship is going to take you. You never know where leadership is going to take you. But at the time, I had staff with me that I was working with, and I just had to explain to them that I'm just going through a rough time. And I wish that I could have led them better and seen them more successful, but I just wasn't at the right space at that time to bring them in. Every staff I brought in since then has been able to soar. So sometimes it depends on the season you may be in, who's under your leadership, as to what type of leader they may get from you. So I just always try to feel like now that I'm kind of making up for the two girls that were right with me when I opened up that space and I couldn't lead them the way I wanted to lead them. But now anybody that comes under me, a mentee, an intern, I'm giving them my 1,000% every single time, because I had to experience that to appreciate what it can be now.
Yeah.
And that's what it is for me. Like it was a very, very messed up situation. But what I realize is it taught me so much about myself. It taught me so much about business, and it taught me resilience, because up until then, I never really went through a lot. I was a pretty privileged child growing up, a pretty privileged adult. So I've never experienced anything really, really bad until my mental health broke down.
Yeah.
And just trying to pick myself up by the bootstraps, praying, going to church. At the time, I was on the prayer team at Renovation. So it's like I'm praying for others when I couldn't even pray for myself. Like but it was just something in me that just wanted to kind of keep going and keep showing up in all of the areas of my life.
And reaching out. I mean, I remember that time.
Yeah.
And you weren't silent about it. You didn't you had certain people, like you had a counselor, you and I just think for us as leaders, like we can't do anything that's going to be great on our own.
No.
We need each other. I believe that God created two holes in our hearts. And one hole only Jesus can fill. And the other hole only you and me can fill.
Absolutely.
He made us for community. And he made us incomplete and imperfect so that we actually need each other.
Right.
And so I love the fact that you even in that time you realized I need some help. I can't do this. I can't get out of this space alone. And even for leaders who might be in a similar space right now, what would you kind of, as we wrap up, what would be kind of a final bit of info to help leaders take their next best step, either in that area or some area in their growing their business, that might be helpful where they might be stuck or unaware or unmotivated? What would be a great final thought for leaders today?
Say exactly. It's pretty much exactly what you said, is reach out for help from somebody who knows just a little bit more than you do. It doesn't even have to be a whole lot more, just a little bit more. Like a counselor, they know much more than I do about mental health.
Yeah.
A coach knows, a content coach for me knows much more about content than what I do. So it's like, reach out to someone who can help guide you and lead you to your next best step.
Yeah.
So if you are struggling mentally, that will be a counselor.
Right.
We can talk to family and friends for sure, but they don't have the tools necessary like a counselor does to help you cope, because that's the key word, to be able to cope with whatever you're dealing with.
Yeah.
A leadership coach like such as yourself, someone to help guide you and move you along further, move the needle forward. That's so important. I even have a life coach that I see. I have a content coach and a life coach and a counselor. So these are people that I lean on heavily during these times to help me move forward with my goals and to help me to bounce ideas off of. Somebody to just sometimes just release everything you have to say, to this person. So it's just because, it's like you may have a spouse, you may have a significant other, and, they're hearing everything we have to say all day long. But it's just sometimes just hearing somebody, listening to somebody who's just not close to the situation. They know about it, but they're not living day to day with you. It makes a big difference.
That's so good. Sally, thanks for
First
of all, just being a friend for so long, and you're inspiring and aspiring, but thanks for coming on. And welcome. Thanks for being in the locker room today. And
thanks for having me, BC.
Yeah, and if this episode helped, we'll have Sally's info, how you can get in contact with her in the show notes. But if this episode helped, man, give a thumbs up, subscribe on YouTube. Just building this whole thing out and hoping that that all of us, like day by day, week by week, month by month, we're just, taking our next best step. And so most of the time, those are in relationships. And so that's just an encouragement. So until next time, hope you have a great week, and we'll see you in the locker room next time.